This is a photograph of myself and my 3 children, Dax, who's 14, Capri, who is 11, and Trace, who's about 5. This is me driving to the Frisco Police Department after the assault. He punched me and broke my cheekbone. He came in with duct tape and then proceeded to duct tape my hands and my feet together and telling me repeatedly about how he was going to kill me that night. There was no doubt in my mind that was going to happen. So for people that ask the question, why don't you just walk away? What many of us don't realize is that we're being lured into this trap. I met my abuser online, who at the time came across as a very clean-cut, kind, smart man, and he and I began to date. After a while, when he met my kids, he really took to them, became the fun stepdad. We were kind of living together, and he said that we needed to move to Texas because of his job opportunity, and learning that I had a very high-risk pregnancy, I had no other choice. I had always been an independent person, and when I had my son in July of 11, yes, I wanted to go back to work, and he didn't want that. I came home and he was drunk. He was trying to get me to give him another 3 months and see if we could make this work. I just said, I'll think about it. And at that point, he was very drunk, and he came over and he punched me in the face, and that's when he broke my right cheekbone. I tried to see if my 9-year-old son had his phone, and as I was in his room talking to him, he looked up and he could see my abuser walk in the door and pull out a 16-inch butcher knife. And he said, "Put your hands out." And he duct taped my hands and feet together, and then take the knife and just repeatedly show me how he was going to kill me, how he's going to do it here, he's going to hit me there. And after a while, I finally was able to convince him to cut my hands free so that I could check on the baby. So I started crawling to the bathroom, and then he came behind me and he stuck the knife in here. I thought, I got to change my tactic. And I just kind of calmly put my hand on his chest, and he flinched. And I said, "It's okay, we'll figure this out, just come lay down." I just kept watching his breathing. I thought, I need him to pass out. He started to snore. Eventually I got up. I said, "There's no way I can try to explain this away to my kids tomorrow morning." Called 911, told him what had happened, and there he went. I had no support system whatsoever. I had nobody to take my kids when they wanted me to go to the hospital that night. I had nobody to reach out to. This may sound so trivial, but when I went to Friends of the Family, I got a box of swim diapers. And I was so grateful. That's like $14. And I had a 6-month-old. And I think back about that, and it's like, whoever that donor was that gave all those boxes of diapers, they have no idea like how much it meant to me, because I didn't have $14. I was trying to get food stamps. And so it sounds so silly, but that's one of the things that just sticks with me, because I was so grateful. $14 in swim diapers.
If there is no CASA on a case, there's nobody to give an independent opinion about what is in the best interest of the child and how the child is progressing. These children who come into care are all from Denton County. All the cases they're our neighbors. We may not know about their circumstances, but they're there, and we need to help these helpless kids. Just trying to stop the cycle keeps me going, because I don't want any kid to grow up to be like the abusive parent. I'm working with a young man right now who just graduated from high school. I became acquainted with him a little over 2 years ago when he had been kicked out of his adopted home. His biological parents loved their drugs more than they loved their kids. And so they lost custody of their children, who were then adopted by a distant relative. And about 3 years later, she couldn't handle teenage boys, and so she rescinded her adoption. So these children had been abandoned twice. After sleeping at the field house at the school for a few weeks, an officer found them, and he remanded them to Child Protective Services. I got the case a little over 2 years ago, and I went to meet these young men in their foster home. And what I found were 3 young men who were courteous and kind and funny, just really wonderful to be around. I found out that all 3 of these boys had never had a birthday cake, never had a cake, and they were teenagers. So that stopped immediately, and they started getting birthday cupcakes of their choice, and birthday cards, and Christmas cards, and Easter cards, and I found out just last week, he said, "You know, Vicki, I have saved every card you've sent me for the last 2.5 years." He has technically aged out of the system now, so I have no legal power over him at all anymore. And I said to him, I said, "You know, anytime you want me to be gone, you can just say, 'Adios, Miss Vicki. I don't need you anymore.'" And he said, "Well, why would I do that? You're so cool." Doesn't get much better than that. He's asked me a lot about the choices that he has possibly for the near future, whether he should go in the military, whether he should go to junior college. I think this young man's really going to be a success in life, whatever he does.
Since 1951, your United Way, through its 20 partner agencies and through its direct initiatives, has been helping people right here in Denton County. Your donation, no matter how much you can give, helps families and children, like you saw in the video today. It helps veterans. It helps those affected by homelessness. It helps those impacted by mental illness. We've been the backbone for helping people in our community for a very long time, but can only do so with your help. Give today. Give to help people in our community.